Congressman. Thank you, Virginia. Great. So good to be here. In the Old Dominion, happy to be here. Thank you. Now, first, someone I'd like you to meet is my husband, Alaska's first dude, Todd Palin. Todd is a commercial fisherman, and he's a production operator up in the North Slope oil fields. I love the sign as we walked in about being a blue-collar, hard-working state. That's Todd, blue-collar, hard-working American. Todd is a great dad, and he's also the 4-time world champion Iron Dogger snow machine race, 2,000 miles across Alaska. So it's great to have him on the campaign trail. So good to be here, Virginia. And as the congressman said, too, you are known for your patriotism here, and we so greatly respect that across the rest of the U.S. And I know that we have patriots right here in this crowd today. And those of you who have served in our armed forces or serving today, raise your hand. We're going to thank you and honor you. Here also, somebody who had served with John McCain. His name is Tom Moe, and he's standing over there, and he is a veteran whom we thank. He is helping us even today to freely assemble here, protecting our constitutional rights. Tom Moe, over there, if you would wave, we honor you, sir. He, having also been a POW, the sacrifices that he made for our country, we thank you, sir. We love you. Now, it is so good to be here, especially just 3 days out in Virginia. The time for choosing is near. Virginia, are you ready to help us carry the state to victory? Are you ready to make John McCain the next president of the United States? To send us to Washington to shake things up for you. Our country is facing tough times right now, tough economic times. And now more than ever, we need someone tough as president. We need a leader with experience and good judgment and courage and truthfulness. We need someone with a bold and free and fair plan to get this country moving in a new direction. We need John McCain. Yes. As the time for choosing arrives, really, the choice could not be clearer. John McCain is the only one in this race who has that wisdom and the experience to get our economy back on the right track, because he has a pro-private sector, pro-growth plan to put government back on your side. Virginia, don't let anybody ever lead you to believe that it is not your government. It's of the people, by the people, for the people. Now, our economic plan is going to help our families keep their homes, and we're going to clean up the corruption and the greed on Wall Street in Washington that caused the housing crisis to begin with. We're going to help our retirees keep their savings and their investments. Our retirees, the esteemed elders in this country who built up our families and built up our communities, working so hard all their lives for their investments. And then they trusted other people to manage their dollars for them. And because of that corruption and that greed, the self-dealing, they're forced today to feel insecure. That will not happen on our watch. That insecurity will make sure that our esteemed elders are held in the highest esteem. We do this even on the economic front by making sure that they are secure. We do that by cleaning up the greed and corruption and holding people accountable as they too often took measures that harmed our seniors. Now our economic plan too is going to be able to help all of us afford health care. And we're going to help our students afford college tuition. Another thing John McCain's going to be able to do, because he's got the guts to do it, he's going to have the guts to confront the $10 trillion federal debt that the government has run up. $10 trillion that we're expected to pass on to our kids and have them pay off for us. And that's not right, and it's not fair, and it won't happen on our watch. We'll impose a spending freeze to cover all but the most vital functions of government, like defense spending and keeping our commitments to our seniors and our veterans. We will balance the federal budget by the end of our first term. John and I, too, you can hold us accountable. You can believe us when we make a promise like that, because we're the only candidates in this race who have track records that prove reform. Up there in Alaska, running for governor, I had to take on the good old boy network. I had to get in there and fight the greed and the corruption and put the veto pen to hundreds of millions of dollars in wasteful spending. And you get scars to prove that you come out of battles like that. It's the right thing to do, though. We did things up there in Alaska like put our state checkbook online so everybody could see where every penny was being spent. It was all about putting government back on the people's side, and transparency and ethics reform. We're going to do that on a federal level also. John McCain, he promises to protect the taxpayers too by using a veto pen. And as governor, I can assure him that it works. Now, John McCain, having the track record of proving reform, he's known in the Senate not just as being the patriot, but as being the maverick. He's taken on the special interests and he's taken this on, and now finally, as president for you, he's going to end those abuses once and for all. Now, how we start is by lowering your income taxes. And we're going to double the child tax deduction for every family. And we'll cut the capital gains tax. Relief to every American and every business, because John McCain and I, we have a very fundamental, basic disagreement with our opponents on this whole issue of taxes. You've been hearing a lot about Barack Obama's tax plan, especially the last couple of days. Because all the details are finally, the light is being shown on what this tax plan's about. The details keep changing though, and they're flip-flopping around on these details. But we learned just this week that America's GDP actually fell in the third quarter of this year. And this is the worst possible time ever to even consider raising taxes. But Barack Obama still wants to impose a massive new tax burden, despite the economic woes that you're going through right now. And according to an independent analysis, our opponent's new policies will destroy nearly 6 million jobs in the next decade. Now, Senator Obama, see, has an ideological commitment to higher taxes. And though it seems that he adjusts the details of his tax increase pronouncements daily, his commitment to higher taxes does not change. And you just have to look at his record on this. And by the way, it is not negative campaigning. It is not mean-spirited to look at someone's record and call them out